Good afternoon from yammybtv. Sending loads of love to you as usual and hoping your weekend went the best it possibly can. Sorry I haven't been up for a few days. A bit of a funny week last week. Great news. Like I'm seeing my grandson, the love of my life really. It's fair to say. I don't think there's anyone. I love everybody, if you get what I mean, but there's a difference there. Encountering now in later life, there's different meanings of love, because it tends to say, yeah, I love you, I love you, I love you. But really, I know now that there's other loves bigger than the loves that I'm professing, to give or to say, kind of thing. But yeah, but feeling really blessed there with the greatest grandson that ever lived, Elijah. I love him so badly, really. So I'm really happy about that. And my darling granddaughter Aries as well. My son's he's playing his part too, and I'm just glad to have built a couple of bridges. Sometimes you've got to be grateful for the small things that happen. I mean, if you offer, a day with my grandson rather than, luxuries or taking this or doing that, there's no way, that is the winning thing for me, because my needs ain't that great. When we push the demons aside, there's not really, I've got to say, got to live with money and stuff like that. But really, my crowning glory is to be a great grandfather and a great role model for those that are here now, and for all the youngsters, to be honest. Yeah, if you get what I mean. So I had 2 days of that. But again, nothing goes without a bit of sadness in this life as well. And it would have been 1 year on. Rest in peace, my lovely mother, Joan. 1 year to the day, first anniversary of losing mother. I often think that I came out on the day of lockdown as well. So I got the latter stages of her life, which I'm very appreciative for, because I couldn't have, when I look back, I can't imagine taking that kind of news whilst being in jail. Which some of you be good to listen to as well sometimes, because you lose control, you miss the moment, you're torn up, you're going to beat yourself up more, but you're better to have been there rather than not being there, is what I'm saying. But I was down for a couple of days just lying there, reflecting the bad vibes in the family, all the things that went on last year. But then now we reach also, unbelievably, really, if I look at it, if you look at it, hold on 1 second. If you look at it in its absolute totality, right? The first ever calendar year out. Now, calendar year, January to January. So I haven't been out for a January to January from an institution from when I was 10. And so I've never, even though I've kind of, been lucky to experience, a life without crime at the end of, in latter days in life. We're talking nearly 2 years now, where the longest was ever 5 months. One Christmas last year in 30, whatever. And now another one this year. But the January to January was never done. And I believe now, when I'm going back over the whole year, from the ups and downs, mum, relationships, homelessness, demons, stuck, down and out, buried, tramp, whatever way you want to call it, messed up, down, didn't look like there was any way back. Then I got out of that. Then a couple of all the build-ups of the relationships, new people, risk, places not to go, all them things that have happened over that calendar year now. It's only now I've got to acknowledge, all right, I'm going to accept it. I'll take a bit of credit, because I've learned a few things. So anything learned, but there's more when I look deeply into stuff that I've learned, from that calendar year, thinking last year to this year. So we know I won't go to no places of risk. I won't be meeting anyone that's negative or involved in crime. I've made that quite clear already. So if it's not positive, and it's not somebody that's going to bring something, decent positivity to the table for all of us, I won't be meeting you, I'm afraid. I've made that quite clear over last year. I made those early mistakes early on in the year, when I was homeless, when I was down last year, when I was learning about being out, all them things that affected me, they are not going to play a part now, as far as I'm concerned. So a couple of days of that. But also coming up as well, one of my besties, Mayo, you know that already. We'll be doing a Christmas special advertisement coming up this evening as well. So there's going to be a funny one with me and Mayo, Christmas hats and all. Don't want to miss that one. So you know that when we get together, me and Lee, we know that it's a good combination, and we know that there's going to be a lot of laughter, probably. So I've got that, plus I'll be asking him some questions, you know, putting more content up. I've now, just about now, after those 2 first interviews, thank you for all your support on them, as well as a test run, a chat with the big man from the Northeast, Brian, about his life and discussing moving forward and the things, you know, that he went through. And to always remember that just because you lived a bad life and you've been in the darkness for so long, you know, doing things the wrong way, where there's a lot of people hurt, and, you know, certain bridges can never be built because there's not going to be too many forgiving in the life that we led, you know, with all the things and the harm and things along the way, with fights and robberies and whatever. You know, people ain't going to want to really be wanting to forget. So when they get a chance, they're going to come and kick you, just as you're coming out the darkness in the light. But at the same time, it shows that just because you lived a bad life, that now young Brian is starting a new life away from that life, if you get what I mean. So it's not impossible to come out of the darkness into the light. I'm showing you that it is possible, you know, a life without crime after being a habitual criminal all my life as well. So to think that the force of nature and habit, where you're so used to ducking, diving, danger, trouble, might get living on the edge, and then all of a sudden now you're not living, you don't have to look over your shoulder because there's no crime. Because all the rest of the times in life I was out, I was used to lie there like out my nut thinking, oh, they're on their way, they're coming to there, because there's long distant crime sprees ruining people's lives. But yes, thank you very much. The support was brilliant on the first go. And also the old mucker, Billy Moore, what a man. I will be sitting down with Billy very shortly as well, probably a 2-way, but a bit on his to start with as well. Billy's a man that I respect, very, very humble man, like a lot of others as well, from the same side of town. Away, Gary Taz saying yesterday, we can't help it if you had beef with him in your young days and no one's got over it and you're still carrying feeling, all of you, from, because you would have had to have grown up in an area where, you know, there was bad blood during youthful struggles, battles, power struggles, growing up, who's better than who, you know, who went with whose missus, who's that, you know, that, all that kind of stuff could go on, as we see 30, 40 years later, where people are still carrying feelings, when in reality, we should all just, for those kind of things, you accept it. It was a childhood, it was during that life, and now we're all living a different life. So therefore, give everybody, you know, help everybody along to stay positive. But yeah, Billy Moore is a definite coming up. And of course, Gary Taz, like I've told you already. So the app is being sorted. I'm just waiting for young Emma to get in touch with me to download the app so I can get on with my StreamYards. I like that, going live, do that, practice that till I can do my face-to-faces, the moving around the country. But so many different things have come up as well over this year. And you always remember, as bad as it all seems, it's all right me saying, because I've had the angels and I plead guilty to that. But I would take that after 40 odd years of being in the wilderness and lost. But it makes me wonder, with the way that I did things, all that chaotic madness and doing it over a long period of time, was I lucky really to have their help? Because I can't see sometimes, I'm being honest, I can't see sometimes, without this work and without, you know, the other work that's coming because of this, the hurdles and the slowness of Uncle Yammy, I would, you know, you just pick up the pieces. You just pick up the pieces. There is always a way out. You've got to hang in there during the dark times, because the traumas of death and lost ones and loved ones. I've seen it all from you all since I've been out. So I'm no different now to anybody else that's been experiencing all these traumas and sadness while I've been locked away, incarcerated, just barely trying to get the feeling, or feeling like I'm a victim because I'm not there, and feeling hard done by. That, you know, I've lost the chance of grandchildren being born, spending time with my son, you know, all the things that, you know, I'm glad to be doing now in later life. I take. We're only here for a short while, as we've seen. Every day we wake up, somebody else has got to be suffering as well. This is why I've told you time and time again that yammybtv, soon to be Uncle BTV, is more for the sufferers. True crime, everything to talk about that life, doing it, all that, like I've reiterated, told you all along, that every story is important to me. views or no views. You know, as long as they release what they want to release, and it can help others that are going through the same thing, because a lot of people hide behind their traumas and are not strong enough to come out. But when you've got the voice and you're not ashamed, because you know that these things have happened to some of us, and you say it out loud so everybody, you know, feels it, because not a lot of people would want to come out and say that I've been abused and that's happened and that's happened. You know, there's a lot of villains that have been abused. Let me tell you that now. There's a long list that I know of. You think about that. And they don't come up and talk about it. Never mind normal people, as what I'm saying to you. The victims, I mean, it is percentage. I'm saying to you, a lot of villains have been abused, and big name villains that don't think, that they don't want to talk about it. You know, I find out so many different ways of some of those traumas that lead to them. There is definitely a significant factor to that start and going through. Young, what's his name, the other day was saying to me, Yammy, you can't be to blame for the beginning of, I'm not to blame for the beginning. I've accepted that. When we do the documentary shortly, you will see that in the beginning of time, we accept that I wasn't to blame. But during knowing right from wrong, stealing people's things, kicking off their doors, shoving guns in people's face, robbing people inside, mix up all the things that went through it all. You know, once you know better, you've still got to be, you know, make a decision of right and wrong, for love or hate, and not to be doing bad things just because you had a bad start. So there it is, you know, coming out of the darkness into the light. It's possible for anyone, and leave it. Let people have a go at coming into the light and proving that they're away from that life, to do better, because we know that the youth and others out there look for these things where they can come out too and express where their sadness is, where it went wrong, and, you know, the highlighting factors to the people that played a part, you know, that we missed, that got unseen, because we know a lot of things were swept under the carpet in them days. But Uncle Yammy Samson is going to be coming and will be highlighting where and who takes the blame, and how lives could have been saved, or what now that it wasn't saved, that now there is always a future and a voice for everybody. You need to be heard, and never be ashamed about what's happened to you. If it's happened at the hands of someone else. That's what I say. And that's me as well with my crimes, doing things to people. You take and accept responsibility for that. And then the message quite clearly from all of us, some of us who are doing things for the right reasons, there will be some solutions and more highlighted when everybody joins together. Because honestly, the best policy, because when you're honest, you can't get shot down for being honest, because then you're going to be bad-minding me, bad-minding you. But really, I've already told you. So what you're saying is what I've already expressed, what I hate about myself, what I don't like about myself. These are the things when you're moving forward. Just pleased to tell you, blabbering now, but I'm in a really good place. Looking forward to the Christmas. Sorry about the lights, but I had to do it this way. So I'll be here. I'll be waiting. I'll be watching them on Wrap Presents, and I will be laughing. I'll be up soon. Let me come up late in a minute again before we get the editing up for Lee Mayo's. I'm going to come up and try and do a Christmas story for you, all right? I love you all dearly. Thank you.